Go ahead and get this meeting started. I'd like us to go ahead. I think last time we forgot to have everybody introduce themselves, and I really like when we do that. So I'm just going to I'll call on you, and if you could introduce yourself, I would appreciate it. Tony, go ahead and lead off, please.
Hi, Tony Brown, Charles Village Community Benefits District.
Emil.
Hi, my name's Emil Volchek. Pronouns he, him. I live at 3040 Guilford and active in the neighborhood, and I'm here tonight to talk about the Baltimore Time Bank when we get to that part of the agenda.
Wonderful. Nick and Charlene?
I'm Nick. I live on the 2800 block of Guilford.
I'm Charlene, and me too.
Russell?
Hi, I'm Russell Ewing on the 300 block of 27th and acting treasurer for Harwood Community Association.
All right. Kristen?
I'm Kristen. I'm on Whitridge across from Keith, and I'm going to talk a little bit about why on the fly ideas, and so I'm glad that Aaron is here. Yeah.
Awesome. Mike? I think you're on mute, Mike. There we go.
Mike Cross Barnett. I don't live in Harwood. I live in Reservoir Hill. I work for Strong City Baltimore, and I am here today to talk about the Healthy Neighborhoods program and a little bit about other things that Strong City does.
Thank you. Next, we have Aaron.
Aaron Kaufman with the Central Baltimore Partnership.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'll talk about a couple things.
Yeah, absolutely. Tamara, next. I think you're on mute, Tamara. Still on mute.
You hear me now?
There you go.
Yes.
Okay, thanks. Tamara Payne, the 300 block of East Lorraine Avenue.
Welcome. Miller.
Hi, Miller Roberts, 400 block of Whitridge.
Out on a beach somewhere. Tiffany and Derek.
Hi, we're on the 2800 block of Guilford.
Okay, wonderful. Inez.
500 block of 27.
Thank you. Christina Williams. I guess.
Hi, Christina Williams, Charles Village Community Benefits District.
Welcome, Christina. And last but not actually, Kyle.
Hi, I'm Kyle Fritz. I'm at 2619 Guilford Ave.
Wonderful. Anna, would you like to introduce yourself? We're just finishing up.
Hi, I'm Anna, 2800 block of Guilford.
Wonderful, welcome. And my name's Keith Klump. I'm the acting president of the Harwood Community Association. I live in the 400 block of Whitridge as well. So welcome everybody to the meeting. The first order of business, I see a lot of Zoom. I see a lot of people that have been on these meetings before, but I'm gonna let Kyle do. Is Kyle still on, or did we lose him? I don't see Kyle. He was gonna do a brief Zoom introduction, but I think everybody here, I've seen most everybody here on, and I think we can handle this now. So we will skip over that and go right into Tony's safety and security update.
Okay, thank you very much. So we had a violent June. Say we've had 4 shootings, 2 incidents. One was in the 2600 block of Greenmount Avenue, and the police were actually right there. The police witnessed the shooting. They chased the gentleman. If you look at one of the houses in the 400 block Lorraine, you'll see where they came through the door after the gentleman that did the shooting. They arrested the gentleman, and they charged him with the shooting in that case. That was I think it was a drug transaction that went bad, and they shot the victim, but the police were there and gave chase right away during the shooting. The second one was 3 people were shot in the 2600 block of Barclay Street. I couldn't really let this out in the beginning, but I have permission now. The vehicle was coming northbound on Barclay Street, and the people on Barclay Street started shooting fireworks at the vehicle. The vehicle pulled the windows down and fired a handgun back, striking 3 people. All 3 people, it was non-life threatening. One was skimmed in the lower back, and then the rest of the people were shot in the leg or ankle area. So they ran over to Green Mountain, got a ride to Union Memorial Hospital, where they were treated with non-life-threatening injuries. Now, with robberies, we had 6, and 3 of them were in the barber shop in the 500 block East 32nd Street. Excuse me, Legends Barber Shop. Somebody came in, produced a gun, and announced a hold up, and there were 3 people in there. So all 3 people gave their property to the robber, and robber ran out the door, and they're still working on that case. We have one that's marked a robbery is 2511 Greenmount. Dollar General would be doing very well with that store as far as theft. They stopped the gentleman who was shoplifting. The gentleman pulled out a knife, threatened, "If you stop me, I'll cut you," and then ran out the door. We had an armed carjacking in the 2700 block of Calvert Street, but it was in the rear. The vehicle pulled up. The victim was in the vehicle. A gentleman came up to the vehicle, asked him for a ride. He declined to give the gentleman a ride. The robber said, implied that he had a weapon, and told the victim, "Get out of the vehicle." The victim got out of the vehicle. The suspect jumped in the vehicle and drove off northbound in the vehicle, and there was no injuries with that. And then there was a home invasion at 416 Lorraine. Both people were related, blood related to each other. Gentleman came in and basically tried to destroy the house, took the cell phone, and ran out, and a criminal summons was issued. I know some people say, well, why wasn't it a warrant issued? And it was relatives. So I think by the time the police finished investigating it, the victim opted for a criminal summons. And then you had last one was 3100 block of Barclay Street. 2 people in the same vehicle, suspect and victim. The victim pulled out money looking for her keys. The gentleman snatched the money and her cell phone and pushed her out of the vehicle and drove off. They're investigating that case right now. The detective unit's investigating that case. We had one aggravated assault, 3200 block Greenmount. Victim said he was struck with an unknown object in the head during a fight, and the suspect fled the scene on that one. A few issues that keep popping up is the graffiti. I talked to Johns Hopkins. We both have a connect in the BPD, in the intel unit, to determine if the graffiti is gang related. I know we've been taking pictures, and one of the tags, Thriller, is coming up on a lot of the property that we're seeing on that, but we're working on that. Illegal dumping, 27th Street, 400 block of 27th Street. I know with the Harwood cleanup, that was removed. Well, they're back, black trash bags full in there with that. I kind of suggest that we post a sign, illegal dumping will be prosecuted, and hopefully there may be a camera coming up in that area that I'll talk about at another meeting, but hopefully that can stop it. But it's the same spot, same trash. People put, well, not this time it wasn't furniture, it was a lot of bags and a plastic chair. As far as the 2600 block Greenmount, 2600 block of Barclay, I spoke in length several times with Major Gibson, and he said he's creating a foot patrol and have a redeployment down in that area because it's so volatile right now. Hats off to Wolf. I got a phone call last night, 11:30 at night. They drove by Peabody around 9 o'clock, and the gate was closed. Now, Peabody, remember, month prior had 3 burglaries there. So they drove past, it was closed. When they called me 11:30, they said they just drove past there and the gate was open. So I called the owner. The owner somehow got in touch with somebody. It was one of the workers who forgot something, had to go back, get his property, and he forgot to shut the gate. But Wolf did a good job on situational awareness and seeing something like that and that thing out. 211 East 25th, it's a little bit down the road. But a month prior, they had 3 burglaries, and it's a recovery center of Maryland, and they do distribute methadone. So that's highly controlled by a DEA. So I contacted the DEA about that. They almost believe it's an inside job because of some of the things that, when they were inside there to evade their pictures being taken. I need a representative from National Night Out. It's October 6th this year. So I get a representative to contact me and to get that moving. I think Miller is my good contact with that. And that's about it. I hope everybody can join us Wednesday at 12 noon. I sent the invite out for the Safety Advisory Council meeting. Marilyn Mosby is supposed to talk, be our guest speaker for that. So I invite everybody to that. Any questions, comments, or concerns?
I do have a question. This is Charlene.
Yes, ma'am.
The shooting of the 3 people,
Yes, ma'am.
did you say somebody on the street threw fireworks at the car?
The car was coming up and they started to shoot the car with fireworks, people on the street. And the people in the car pulled out a handgun and shot towards the crowd, striking the 3. But there was.
So did they know each other? Was it random throwing? Do you know?
We don't know if they knew each other, but it wasn't like a targeted drive-by. What they say, it was a confrontation on the street. Car coming up, he's getting hit with fireworks, and they put the window down and they start shooting into the crowd. So it's kind of like a retaliation for them shooting the fireworks at the cars, at the car.
Okay, thank you.
It seems like this is a huge increase in violent and semi-violent crime. And I'm wondering, is that just our area or is this happening all over the city?
It's increasing all over the city. I think the violent homicides are still above what they were last year. Yeah. Shootings are even or a little below from last year. But I'll give you an example. We almost had a shooting in the 2600 Greenmount 2 Saturdays ago. I was driving by and I see all these police cars, and the one lieutenant I knew, I stopped and they had a discharging of firearms in the 20s, and that was broad daylight. So I think, you know, with everything going on, I think that the violence, and now with more people going out on the street, I think violence is now picking up greater because everybody was in their houses before. Yeah. So I think that's the reason it's picking up right now.
Yes, he lost the fight.
But I know that the major said he's well aware of the 2600 blocks of Barclay and Greenmount, and that's where he's concentrating his troops on right now.
Yeah, good.
Oh, and Miller, if you can hear me, the vehicle in question for fireworks, that was, we didn't get anything on that. And the Dollar General store, that was brought up about them selling fireworks. We went and checked that out, and they were not selling fireworks.
Okay, thank you for checking.
Mm-hmm.
All right, thank you, Tony. I think we're going to move on here. Next on our agenda is Mike Cross-Barnett with Strong City Healthy Neighborhoods. Mike, take it away. Still on mute, Mike.
All right, thanks, Keith. Yeah, I want to just thank everyone for making time for me to come and speak to you for a few minutes today. I see a lot of names here that I recognize and some faces too. So just want to start off by saying that there's the connection between Strong City Baltimore and Harwood is a special one. It's been going on for a long, long time. I don't know if everyone here knows that our organization used to be called Greater Homewood Community Corporation, and its name was changed about 5 years ago. But you know, Harwood is a community where we've had an interest as an organization going way back to the 1970s, actually, having worked for many decades at the Barclay School, supporting that school community with AmeriCorps Vistas and in other ways under Principal Williams and even after her retirement. And then starting about 15 years ago, we became highly involved in the community in other ways, such as getting deeply involved in doing neighborhood organizing and actually helping to kind of revive interest in the Harwood Community Association as a strong organization. At the same time, we were doing a lot of work in the area of vacant housing. And as a matter of fact, you may know this, you probably do, but you know, on Whitridge Avenue, the Whitridge Row project was sort of gotten off the ground by Peter Duvall, who's my colleague, who was able to get a grant to get that project started. You know, we've worked, of course, with wonderful Tamara Payne, who's on this call, supporting her in some of the grants that she's gotten for the community art projects. And last but not least, Strong City, of course, was the organization that the community of Harwood selected to kind of bring back the community center, the old Barclay Rec Center, which had basically been abandoned by the city and which, as everyone knows, is now a wonderful, vibrant, thriving 29th Street Community Center operated by Strong City Baltimore with the community of Harwood. So that's like a little capsule of what our involvement has been over the years. But today I wanted to talk to you about something very specific, which is the Healthy Neighborhoods program and Strong City's involvement with that. Some of you, I'll bet, know a lot about Healthy Neighborhoods, and others maybe nothing at all. And then some are probably right in the middle and have heard about it. But like, what exactly is this Healthy Neighborhoods thing? You know, you do something with buying houses, but what does it really mean? So I am going to share my screen, and we're going to look at, I'm going to take you through a very brief PowerPoint presentation. All right. All right, can everybody see that okay?
Yes, we can, Mike.
Okay, you're seeing it, cool. So, okay, so what is Healthy Neighborhoods? So basically, it's a nonprofit organization that works like a bank. It makes loans and it supports block projects, and the whole idea is to strengthen these neighborhoods that are called a lot of different things. Sometimes they're called middle neighborhoods. Healthy Neighborhoods calls them strong but undervalued communities. So it's a little bit unique in the sense that Healthy Neighborhoods really, unlike a lot of traditional community development, does not focus on the so-called worst or most challenged neighborhoods. It certainly doesn't focus on the ones that are, the most advantaged and privileged, but rather the target is the sweet spot of communities that are really the kinds of communities that we feel make a city like Baltimore most vibrant. They tend to be the most diverse places, the most interesting places, but very often they could use a little support, a little extra love to kind of be everything they can be, and that's the guiding philosophy of Healthy Neighborhoods. So there are 46 neighborhoods throughout Baltimore that are in the Healthy Neighborhoods program, and there are a whole bunch of lead agencies that are the partners, and Strong City is one of them. And what Healthy Neighborhoods does that you'll be most interested in is it provides loans, 3 kinds of loans: purchase, and rehab loans, refinancing loans, and home improvement loans. Once upon a time, they did straight purchase loans without rehab, but they don't do that anymore. So Strong City is the Healthy Neighborhoods partner for North Central Baltimore. So those are the neighborhoods that we support. Harwood, obviously, right smack dab in the middle of that. So here I'm throwing a lot of information at you, but this is basically some of the most important features or things to think about in terms of like kind of what distinguishes healthy neighborhoods versus like just any other kind of loan. So first of all, the interest rates, they keep them low, never more than 4%. There's no private mortgage insurance, which a lot of people find to be a very attractive feature. And there is the possibility of getting $10,000 free money in a matching rehab grant for borrowers whose incomes qualify them for that. That's something that's very attractive. Another feature that often generates a lot of interest is you only have to put 3% down, and you can borrow actually more than the value of the house after the rehab. These loans go up to almost $300,000, and there's no restriction on your income for getting the loan itself, although of course, as I mentioned, there is for getting the grant for rehab. And they also throw in the free services of a professional architect to review your rehab and renovation plans. This is the area. So the way Healthy Neighborhoods works is sometimes the whole neighborhood is eligible for the service, and other times it's just what they call target blocks. So they may determine that for whatever reason, a certain block, a certain section of the neighborhood is kind of not doing well enough. It needs to come up more until it's going to qualify for like being considered, in that sweet spot that Healthy Neighborhoods targets. So these are the areas of your neighborhood that qualify for Healthy Neighborhoods. And as you can see, it's about half of the neighborhood, basically. One of the great things about Healthy Neighborhoods is it combines with a lot of the other incentives that are available out there, so that you can create this whole stack of benefits and incentives in putting together your home buying experience. So there's a lot of opportunities out there, and Healthy Neighborhoods can help people in accessing many of those. So, one of the things that makes this program special is this is really a community-oriented program. Unlike a lot of mortgage lenders who are not necessarily like all that interested or invested in the community, Healthy Neighborhoods it's exclusive to Baltimore. It's been in Baltimore for 14 years. It was developed and designed by people from here who really cared about making Baltimore stronger and making its neighborhoods better places to live. So they got a lot of experience. And then in addition to the loans, they do other things to support neighborhoods, including activities to market those neighborhoods and block projects that you can apply for as a neighborhood. So for example, the painted houses, I believe on Ilchester in your neighborhood from many years ago that was a Healthy Neighborhoods activity. Yeah, there's a personal touch. They work very closely with people to avoid foreclosure, and as a result, the foreclosure rates tend to be very low. And they promote an overall positive view and vision of Baltimore City neighborhoods. So I promised to be brief, so I'm gonna pretty much end it there. Here's my information. If you want to know more about this, please reach out to me anytime. Also, Ron at Healthy Neighborhoods and Carlton M&T Bank are the people who I work with in this program. And you can, you know, they'll always take your calls too, and would love to talk about the program with you. But I really suggest you, if this is something that you're interested in, you talk to me first, because often that is like a useful gatekeeping situation that then like we'll kind of know what to do, you know, and you know, some people like know exactly what they want when they're looking for, you know, to buy a home. Other people aren't sure. And then if you have questions that I can't answer, I'm always happy to find out the answers for you from these partners or from anyone who might be able to help. So I'm happy to take questions if we have a minute or two for that. You know, we think this is a great program and a wonderful opportunity, and we are looking for any help that you can offer in terms of helping us to promote this and spreading the word. You know, I've seen that your organization has a very active Facebook page. Social media is a great way to get the word out about this opportunity. You know, you have a website as well. That's another way. I don't know if you currently have a newsletter that circulates in Harwood, but if you do, that's something we really encourage. And I would be happy to, you know, work with your newsletter committee if you're open to it, to write something about the program and put it in the newsletter. And then finally, there's nothing like good old word of mouth. Just you know, tell people what you've heard here, and let them know to give me a call and find out more about the program. I shared this PowerPoint with Keith, and so Keith, you know, if you want, you could, you know, definitely share it out to the group or to the larger association. Feel free to do that if you think that it would be useful.
Certainly.
So that's my presentation, unless anyone has any questions.
Anyone have questions for Mike? No. If not, next up on our agenda, we have Mr. Volchek. He's going to speak a little bit about the time bank. Go ahead and take it away, sir.
Thanks, Keith. I'm going to share my screen. Can people see the screen?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. Thanks, everyone. My name's Emil Volchek. My pronouns are he and him. And I'm here to tell you a little bit about Let's Be More, the Baltimore Time Bank. So a time bank is a group of people who give and receive services for which they exchange time credits rather than money. The purpose is to weave a mutually beneficial network that's built on relationships of helping and that values all time equally. Reciprocity and equality are our core values. During the pandemic, we've opened up our membership to everyone who wanted to join, and we've encouraged people to help out with COVID-19 response. And collectively, members of Let's Be More have now contributed over 260 hours to COVID-19 response. And some of the activities have included food delivery and grocery shopping for high-risk neighbors, caring for the pet of a COVID-19 patient who is in intensive care and then in rehab, home cooking for the homeless encampment down near St. Paul and 20th called the Red Shed Village, making community calls for the Baltimore Neighbors Network. Other members have been helping to assemble safer drug use kits with the Baltimore Harm Reduction Coalition. One member has organized a food drive at the Hotel Revival. Another member is searching for the car of a COVID patient in intensive care because when they went into the hospital, nobody knew where they had parked. And this is just some of the ways people have been helping each other. Now, Time Bank is all about giving and receiving services where people offer to help, somebody accepts that help, and they exchange time credits. And looking at the kinds of services that are on Let's Be More right now, it's kind of neat to see all of what's going on. If you have school-age children that might need some tutoring or some homework help, well, we've got members that are willing to offer help with chemistry, biology, Spanish, Arabic, math, and English writing and composition. There's one member that's offering CAD drafting and oil painting. A couple members can do grocery shopping or transportation. Some members are doing phone calls and virtual check-ins on seniors. One member has a mediation service that they run and is offering mediation and problem-solving workshops. Another member offers help or tutoring, maybe by Zoom, on canning vegetables. And another offers help completing an advanced directive for healthcare. One member is an acupuncturist, and while she can't give treatment during the pandemic, she's offering online stretching and fitness sessions on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So if you're interested in learning more and want to know how you can get involved, our website is letsbemore.timebanks.org. So you can go there to learn more or sign up. One of our planning group or a coordinator calls every new member before they join as a way of screening people. We make sure people are understand how the Time Bank is supposed to work and that people are being careful about COVID-19. When you visit the site, we encourage you to sign up and then look for something that you need. Ask for something that you need. You don't need to wait to earn credits before you can ask for help. This is not capitalism. You're allowed and encouraged to borrow time freely from the community. If you're worried about seeing negative balances, well, that's what the Federal Reserve does when they do quantitative easing. You are creating opportunities to help other people, and you're helping boost and strengthen the Time Bank when you offer someone credits to help. And in addition to asking for help, you can offer something that you'd like to do. Now, you can meet all the people in the planning group and other members at a meet and greet this Thursday, July 9th at 8 p.m. via Zoom. You can find the information on the Time Bank website, or you can email at letsbemore@community.timebanks.org, or you can text or call me, and my number is there. So I'd like to say a little bit about our history. We've been around for a couple of years. If you've been coming to Harwood meetings back in 2016 or 2017, I spoke I spoke once or twice, and also Walt Glaze, if people remember him. He was the local hub or the point of contact for Harwood. And at that time, we were working on a model of reaching out to specific neighborhood groups. We had seen time banks in other cities, and we knew that the organizers that were starting the time bank back then, if we just open it up to our friends and friends of friends, then the demographics of the Baltimore Time Bank would tend to reflect those of the founders, the original activists, and that would mean it would be mostly white. And we wanted to be intentional about how we cultivated diversity and reached across boundaries of neighborhoods and race. So we picked a model where we started out focusing on 4 organizations, 2 neighborhood associations and 2 nonprofits. The neighborhood associations were the Harwood Community Association and the Able Improvement Association. And in 2016, the membership of Harwood and voted to join. Membership of Able voted to join. And we also went to Out for Justice and the Baltimore Ethical Society. And the membership also voted to join the Time Bank as an organizational member. And the reason why we went that way is because the Able Improvement Association and Baltimore Ethical Society are mostly white. Out for Justice is mostly African American. Harwood has a very balanced demographic. And so we thought by starting with these organizations, we might be able to build out and create a very inclusive and mutually supportive time bank organization. It didn't turn out the way that we had hoped because that led to us growing very slowly because we had only the 4 associations that we were working with. And so we were not reaching as many people as we wanted to help. During the early weeks of the pandemic, we decided to open up our membership to anyone who wanted to join, and that we would do screening calls rather than working through the neighborhood associations. And that immediately led to growth. We've been adding new members each week throughout the pandemic. But as we were concerned, it's mostly white, and that reflects both the digital divide and the networks of friends and relations that the organizers have, the people we know and our friends of friends. So we are a work in progress. We are growing. We want to be more inclusive and diverse. And so we welcome anybody who wants to join the community and start helping out, whether it's volunteering for COVID-19 response or helping other members. So I'll end my presentation here and ask if there are any questions that people have.
Any questions, folks? Sounds like a great organization. I'm definitely going to look into it. I spend a lot of time doing stuff in the neighborhood, so I think that's a great thing. Thank you for presenting.
Thanks for giving me time. Absolutely.
Next up, we've got Aaron Kaufman with the Central Baltimore Partnership. He's got a number of programs he wanted to put us up to date on. So Aaron, take it away.
All right. Yeah, I'm happy to provide an update. Odette, do you want to just introduce yourself? Please jump in front of me. You're going to be, a future councilwoman in the area. So do you want to just take a couple seconds to jump in front?
Mr. Chair, whatever you'd like to do.
Keith, is that okay?
Okay.
Yes, take it away.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you. I do have to go to another meeting soon. So I appreciate that, Aaron. Thanks a lot. Just want to say hi, everybody. I'm Odette Ramos, Democratic nominee for District 14. I'm very excited to work with all of you. Harwood is a big area, and the 14th district side is the East Harwood side that I'm so thrilled you all decided to kind of work with that part of the neighborhood. And you have a brand new bagel shop, which is amazing. So that's great. So if you don't know who I live on the 400 block of East 31st Street up in Able, so I'm just up the street from all of you. And have been in Baltimore for about 30 years, and my background is anything from community development, affordable housing. I've done a lot on women's issues. And so, there's a lot of things that I'd like to make sure that we accomplish. I have, you can look on my website for all the stuff that I'm thinking about, particularly around addressing vacant properties, which I think Harwood has been slowly getting through those, which is great. And as well as addressing some of the big issues in our city, like dealing with the water bills and things like that. So I really look forward to working with all of you, and I will continue to come on to these meetings. And anything I can do to help, I left my contact information on the chat. Thanks a lot. Again, I'm just up the street from all of you on the 400 block of East 31st. So thanks again. I really appreciate it, and look forward to working with you.
Okay. Thanks, Odette. We're really looking forward to working with you too. I'm really excited.
Thanks a lot for the time. Appreciate it. appreciate it.
So I want to touch base on a couple programs real quick, a couple of ours and a couple of city resources that I just think are really valuable and useful kind of in the current moment. So first of all, I just want to say that CBP just launched our digital drive. And I think as you know, we've experienced throughout COVID and all the social unrest, a lot of the disparities around the digital divide and tech disparities are kind of coming to the forefront, right? So one thing that CBP is doing in conjunction with a couple other groups as a part of the Baltimore Digital Equity Coalition, which is citywide, is to try to address the tech divide on kind of three different ways. So one is we're definitely working on a couple things in regards to internet access, which are around mesh networks and extending Wi-Fi access to public spaces, and seeing how we can, do that in conjunction with our partners. The third is around digital stewardship. We all, many of us need a crash course on how to even use the technology that we may have at our fingertips. But what I wanted to touch base on is digital equipment, because that's really the first step for many folks. So I will put in the chat kind of all of the different ways in which people can participate, but what we're trying to do is a digital equipment drive for all old equipment that people want to donate, and then we're working with Code in the Schools to get that equipment refurbished and out to families in need through our community centers. So it's kind of accomplishes one of two things. One, it complements what Baltimore City Public Schools is doing to get every child access to a device, to help with their online learning. And we hope to supplement that work citywide by, having a hyper focus within our neighborhoods. And two, we hope to kind of increase the tech inventory at all of the community centers. So that's definitely a really important aspect to all of this, is that in school and out of school, folks, youth and families need that access in order to do online learning, in order to apply for benefits, in order to apply for employment. So we're trying to address that by connecting through with families through the community centers, then supplementing our community schools, then our community associations. So 3 ways to get involved, and I'll put this all in the chat box. One is if you want to donate equipment that you may have that we can refurbish and get out to families, you can do that. And there is a link and a Google form in order to do that. And then we'll coordinate pickup and drop off. We have 2 drop off dates scheduled right now. So the next 2 Fridays, we had one this past Friday, and we're able to, pick up about 5 or so laptops in, just 2 days after our launch. And so we hope that these next couple will continue to accumulate that equipment. The second is you can financially donate, and you can go to our website to do that. And with donations, financial donations, we'll purchase new equipment, and that will be provided for families in need through the community center. And then third, if you want to provide your digital expertise, you can do that as well. And awesome. We definitely need to talk, Emily. And then third, if you want to provide your digital expertise, we're looking for people who want to be involved in that digital stewardship piece. And so there's a couple different avenues. One is there's going to be a tech, online tech support avenue for people through 211. So if people have tech issues, they can actually call 211 and be directed to somebody who is tech savvy to allow them an opportunity to provide that tech support. And then 2, we'll be looking for different opportunities, again, to support Central Baltimore programs and individuals, who may need additional tech support. So I'll put all of that in the chat box, but kind of if you have equipment to donate, great. If you have the financial means to donate, great. If you have the skills to donate, great. And if you have a family in need or somebody who definitely needs equipment, then reach out and contact me. Yes, so, and I will put all of this in the chat. As I keep going, I'm also going to put just my contact information in the chat. If I'm going too quick, just reach out and feel free to ask me any question you might have. Two, I want to make sure that people are aware that we still have some resources and funding for home improvements and home repairs that allow legacy residents and seniors to age in place. So we've already worked with a couple residents in Harwood, but still have some funding that we associate both with the HUBS program and outside of the HUBS program. So if you are aware of a resident in the neighborhood who is eligible via one of two ways. So lives in Harwood and is a homeowner, over 65 and under 80% AMI, they apply for HUBS, and I will put in the HUBS flyer and link, and if they go through the intake process, we'll work with the HUB site coordinator to make sure that we can connect some of our financial resources to that individual. And then two, if they're a legacy homeowner, so have been in the neighborhood for over 10 years, there's also a separate funding pool that's available for Harwood residents. So I just want to make sure that people are aware that there is funding for longtime homeowners and low-income seniors so that they can age in place and stay in the neighborhood that they've been living in for decades and decades. And
hey,
then,
Aaron, could you give us some examples of things that would fund?
Absolutely. So the priority are critical repairs around roof repairs, HVAC repairs, and fall prevention repairs. So that could fund a leaky roof. It could fund a new furnace system if there's electrical or piping problems that people need in order to get heat or cooling. It could fund those types of things. Weatherization in terms of new windows, and then also like grab bars and stair improvements so that we're really addressing fall prevention for folks because row homes are not easy to age in. To be very frank, they're not the easiest homes to age in. So those are kind of the key things that we're prioritizing with that funding. So roofs, heating, cooling, fall prevention. And we're really looking at interior improvements primarily rather than cosmetic exterior improvements, other than the roof, obviously, which is a big one. But homeowners are one piece of this. I also just want to present a piece that the city is providing a resource, which is the COVID-19 rent support. That's a huge piece for people who have lost income due to COVID-19 and need support in paying for their rent. So I will also post that flyer, but that is, definitely a key resource for people who, need financial support to cover rent payments, in these tough times. So I definitely want to make sure that, there's support for, homeowners and renters in the community and that people, know that there are resources out there for both. Next, I definitely want to touch base on the fact that we have a couple additional funding opportunities. One is our grant fund grant, which are $500 micro grant opportunities for community organizing during this COVID time. So if that is something that rings a bell or you have an idea, please reach out to me. Again, I'll put my contact information in there at the end. We've seen different things, everything from folks who are getting technology to communicate, to sandwich boards, to, community bulletin boards, people who are paying for masks for programming so that folks can participate in programming, food distribution, transportation reimbursement in order to connect, vulnerable residents to different types of resources. So if there is something that, you guys are thinking about as a community and you need a small grant to support that, please reach out. And then finally, I just wanted to make sure that there was recently announced a pandemic EBT opportunity. So because Baltimore City, all families qualify for reduce or free lunches. You also, all families also qualify who have children in the school system for this pandemic EBT. And kind of the key is to make sure that your address on record is correct with your school. So I'm going to post the inquiry form and the link for that, but it's $370 per child for extra food benefits. And I think that's an important resource for anybody with school-age children, in addition to, you know, going to the local food distribution sites in the city on a meal-by-meal basis. You know, that financial support helps people get the variety that they need, and helps people, you know, really bridge a gap that they may have in terms of food access. And then lastly, I just want to say that a couple Spruce Up projects are wrapping up, and we'll be announcing next year's Spruce Up recipients. Big ups for the East Harwood project. You guys have kept it moving and have really made a huge impact, from the tree planting to the facade painting to just the, you know, overall community integration support between Harwood and East Harwood. And then I just saw that the lighting and signage up at the 29th Street Community Center just got installed. So check out Greg Gannon, did a really cool mural to help highlight where the community center is. And so that's, and also the light installation that will help light up that street at night along 29th. So a lot of cool things going on. There will be some, to give you guys kind of a soft congratulations, some good news about a couple projects in Harwood, but we'll be making those announcements later this month, and so we'll keep you in the loop. So a lot of things, again, homeowner support, rental support, food benefit support, community project support, digital divide support. I will put it all in the chat box. Yes, thank you, Christina. You're right. I think that's another thing that I wanted to make sure is like the application is closing soon. So thank you for putting that in there. Okay, I will put this stuff in the chat box if people have questions. And looks like I lost Odette, but I will send her the links as well.
Keith, can I just say something real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
I mean, I just want to thank Aaron and CBP for being flexible with us. The East Harwood project took a little bit longer than expected. We encountered a couple of road bumps, but we are literally wrapping up the final report. And I think that the impact is incredible. And I appreciate everyone who has helped. I don't care if you came to one day or all the days, it just every little bit of help was appreciated. And if you get a chance, walk on over there. But thank you, Aaron, for all of your support.
Yeah, and Miller's done a ton of hard work on that. So I just want to commend you for all the work, Miller. I see the emails, and I know a lot of people don't, but he has worked really, really hard on this project, and I think it looks great over there. So thank you for your hard work, Miller. Also, Aaron just laid out a lot of programs that I think a lot of our neighbors could definitely take advantage of. I see a lot of the same people on these calls. Please disseminate this information as much as you can. I realize we can't really get together with people right now, but if you see your next door neighbor and you think one of these programs might be of use to them, please let them know. Please point them to these resources, especially the age and place stuff. You know, very few of our senior citizen members are on these calls, but we have them in our neighborhoods, and you know they can use as much help as they can get. So all of those programs are excellent, Aaron. Thank you for presenting them. Let's just try and take advantage of every program we can and spread this information to our neighbors as much as possible.
And if people have questions, I'm happy to talk one-on-one with people, or if you guys feel that I can explain this in more depth so that you can explain it to your neighbor. Again, I'm happy to have conversations with you all as well to make sure that people get this information. I mean, that is in many ways the hardest part, is actually making sure that people access the programs that are available.
Yeah, and one thing Aaron and I had actually talked last weekend at the garden, that sometimes having somebody that's younger and a little bit more technologically savvy to help some of our senior people work through these is oftentimes a good thing as well. So if that's something you'd be interested doing, working with one of your neighbors, reach out to Aaron. The money is there. It's going to be spent in central Baltimore. Let's have it be spent in our neighborhood and on our neighbors. That might sound a little selfish, but I don't care. I want people on this call. So,
and it's our job to continue to raise that funding and replenish. So I want it spent here too.
One other question I had, Aaron, on the digital device drive, is there, like, if I have a really old computer, are they going to take it? Like, are there limitations?
Yeah, so what we've been told by Code in the Schools is that it's about 7 years. Okay. Is if it's over 7 years old, then I think that it probably has had its best days. Right. But if it's under 7 years, laptops, smartphones, tablets, and you would like to donate that, we are a 501c3, so you'll also get a donation. A letter from us indicating the value that you've donated. And if you donate over $500, there's eligible tax credits, through our organization as well. So lots of different ways in which you can get the recognition, that you need to from a tax standpoint as well. But yeah, 7 years is kind of, I think, the upper limit from what we were told by Code in the Schools.
Okay, thanks. Next up on our agenda, we have community. Well, did anyone else have any questions for Aaron? Sorry, I didn't want to cut anybody off. Yeah, Mike.
Just a quick one, Aaron, about the EBT.
Yes.
My understanding is that it is going out to every family with a child in the city schools. And of course, some of those people might not need that help. So I think, if I'm not mistaken, there is an option of donating it if you get it and you don't need it, but you want to help people who do.
I think you're right in that, and you might have to coordinate with the school. But I think you might also be able to indicate that on the inquiry form link as well. So yes, if you need the benefit, make sure your address is correct and you're coordinating with your school. And if you don't need the benefit, also coordinate with your school on that as well.
Awesome.
Yeah, great point.
Thanks, Aaron. Moving on to the community reports and announcements. The first one, 2020 census is live. Let's make sure we're filling it out and our neighbors are filling it out, and we're getting all the money from the federal government that we deserve. I did not have a chance to pull Harwood statistics on where we stand currently, but I will absolutely pull that before, well, we don't have a meeting in August, so I will probably have that information sent out on Facebook so that we can, if we're lagging, we can maybe get out there and talk to some of our neighbors about it. It's the only way we're going to get the federal funding that we deserve, so make sure that all of your neighbors have filled that out, please, and thank you. Next up is the community garden. We are still struggling to get water access. I received an email from Abby Koch from the Baltimore Office of Sustainability, and she claims to be the person that's able to do this. But she emailed me, and I've emailed her back numerous times and tried to call her numerous times, and she is not returning any calls or emails. So I don't know what the deal with that is, but we're hoping to get water access very, very soon. Next up, Kristen Hoffmaster would like to speak about some grant opportunities. Kristen, take it away.
Hi. So I actually don't have a grant opportunity available, but the purpose of me being on this meeting tonight was just to let neighbors know that I have been in discussion with a couple of folks who are already on this forum regarding work that's going in for the Spruce Up grant. And in discussion about the Spruce Up grant, we came to talking about just activities that kids can do in this neighborhood during COVID-19, and talking about ways that we can offer opportunities for them to play and use their mental and physical energy, because we all know that everyone needs that right now, and kids really need it especially. By the way, my title is just, I'm a mom, and my pronouns are she, her. But I also work in partnership, contracting to urban teachers, working to design curriculum that is geared towards using project-based learning to engage multisensory tactics and avenues for interpreting and internalizing knowledge. So as I was speaking with folks who are working on Spruce Up Grant and trying to come up with ways to bring some more art and some more movement and some more sensory approaches into offering opportunities for kids in a way that is socially distant and safe, I got to talking with Juanita Morgan, who runs Y on the Fly. And I can share my screen. I just have a really simple Google form, and I'm not going to take a whole lot of time. I actually have an action item that I kind of would love for everyone to think about if you have time. So Juanita runs Y on the Fly, and I know that some of you may be familiar with the program. It involves having folks from the YMCA come out with, I guess, Aaron, would you describe them as big, like trucks or vans or? Oh.
Sorry, I had to unmute.
That's okay.
Yeah, it's a mobile van with all sorts of different equipment to do activities, primarily fitness related.
Yeah, and so right now in my conversation with Juanita, I kind of learned that they're in the process of reopening the program and trying to stay in line with like phase 2 regulations for COVID-19. And it's a bit of a challenge, but she did offer up this interest form and said, if you would like to present it to your community association and see if there is any interest in bringing the fitness van out, they have activities that they can do, and they will just come and set up on the block. And they will rotate in 8 kids at a time right now. Those are the regulations that they have to abide by. And so what I'm going to do real quick, instead of doing a PowerPoint, is I'm just going to take you through the information on this form. And at the end, I'll provide my email. And if you would like to email me and let me know if you have thoughts, or we can discuss them here if there's time, or revisit next month if we decide that's better. If you have thoughts about a day and a time and a location, but this is kind of what I was thinking. So I'll go through, the form just asks name. I put my own down. I said I would be fine with organizing and being present as the on-site contact. The organization representing the invitation to Y on the Fly would be us, the Harwood Community Association. The name of the program is just Y on the Fly. Address, I had discussed with a couple of people who are here possibly having the fitness van come out to the playground that's next to the Harwood Community Garden. And I believe, Keith, it's 27th and Greenmount, and it has a name though.
The 27th Street Park is what it goes by.
Yeah, so the 27th, I'm gonna rewrite this then. The 27th Street Park would be the location for the trucks to come out, or the van. The only thing that I don't have, because it would require discussion amongst folks who are here, and if we want to get input from other folks, or we just want to provide it as an opportunity on a certain day, we would just need a date and a time that people feel comfortable with. I want to consider, hours that people are working and don't want to be disrupted, and hours that people are sleeping. Juanita seemed very flexible in terms of when they could come out, and she did offer the option of staying on the block all day so that kids could rotate through in groups of 8. And really the purpose of this whole request to have some events like this happen is just to provide kids with a social, emotional, physical outlet during coronavirus in the summertime when not all of their regular activities are, set up. And a lot of the kids who live on this block are out riding their bikes, and they're going on hikes, and they're going up and doing karate and taking fitness classes, and they have a lot to do. But, just hanging out in the garden, I also see kids who are around, and I think it might be nice to give them some safe opportunities to play together and to just build community amongst themselves. So date and time are something that could be discussed. And that was pretty much it. It's a very brief form. I filled it out just according to the conversation that I had with Juanita. Happy to rotate children in and out, ages and grade levels. I mean, I just kind of covered this block from what I know, having kids at Barclay and also volunteering and working and teaching yoga at the 29th Street Community Center We have kids about pre-K to 10th grade that are, you know, kind of hanging out outside on a daily basis. And then there's a section for additional information. So I guess what I'll go ahead and do, I'm going to stop sharing my screen and I'll put my email in the chat box. And then if you have thoughts on a day and a time that you would be supportive of having this happen, or if you have ideas about a day and a time when you don't think it would be appropriate, depending on your area of expertise, where you're coming from, you can just email me. And I will share that information with Juanita, and I will speak with Keith about moving this forward into something that can be either an event that we do just once this summer or something that we continue to do if it's something that the community enjoys. And just as a quick closeout, I know that the area that is being revitalized by the Spruce Up Grant, Tamara and I have talked a little bit about different ways to get art in blank mural spaces that are around the community. So I do know that that area as well has been discussed as a place where this program could possibly happen. And I also know that when it has been done in the past at 29th Street Community Center and also at Barclay, it's been really successful in terms of just giving kids appropriate sensory activity to do according to their interests. So here is my email. And if you have any thoughts about or ideas about how you would like to see this implemented, or if you don't want to see it implemented and you have reasons that you want to discuss, you can just send me an email.
Hey, Kristen, I have a quick question. Is the best thing that we can do now fill that form out so the most that we can and get it in so that she sees a lot of people in Harwood want this?
Yep. Yeah.
Okay. And I think we can shoot this out on our Facebook as well and ask people, you know, hey, is this something that you're interested in? Fill out the form if you are, and hopefully that'll spur some additional votes for you.
Okay, cool.
I think also just in the conversations I've had with Juanita too, is there are plenty of open time slots that they're still trying to fill. So absolutely, if you want to do multiple, I think, you know, they'd be super open to that.
Cool.
Awesome.
Thanks, everybody.
Next up, we have CVCBD report out. Leslie, I see you on, and I don't believe you were on at the beginning. Did you have anything to report out for us?
Hi, Keith. Good evening, everyone. I just want to tell everyone that our fiscal 21 budget was approved by the city. So that is yay. We're moving forward with everything. Well, Christina's moving forward with everything. So what is the Charles Village Benefit Community District? So it is a special taxing region in North Baltimore between Able, Charles Village, Harwood, Old Kilcher, parts of Remington, and Barclay. So these are supplemental tax dollars at 12.5 cents per $100 of assessed property value. That gives us additional security, sanitation, and community support services and events. With that said, the current offices are closed to the public, but we're still, feel free to reach out to the Christine and everyone at this. I'm going to post it right here. They're involved with everything from Facebook, Instagram. If you want to, you can even sign up for a newsletter at the charlesvillage.org website. Sanitation is still being collected. They're working in shifts and supposed to be wearing their masks. And we just, if you have any additional comments, feel free to jump in. Christina, I think you're on.
No, you did a great job. Thanks, Leslie.
Yeah. Currently, all programming activities are kind of on hold or starting to move forward, but we will be following all of the regulations for COVID-19. So hopefully early fall, we'll have some events and we'll have some more information coming soon, but we don't want to commit to anything yet. But everyone is working hard. Keith and Miller are also on the board as well. I think that's it.
I had one question for Christina. Christina, are the the street sweepers, I'd heard that they're working at less than full capacity currently. Is that still the case?
Yes, so our staff has been since the end of March working at a 40% reduction in hours, still operating 7 days a week, still 7:30 to 4:30, but we have less people working at any given time to prevent to complete shutdown of our sanitation staff should any person become sick. So they're working on teams so that there's no interaction between the teams throughout the week.
Yeah, so if your area seems to be a little bit, it's not getting hit as frequently as possible, that's because the guys are working on 40% of their budgeted time currently. So please, if you can get out there and sweep up a little bit, please do. Every little bit helps.
Christina, can I ask a really quick question? So is there anything we can do for those guys and gals who are out there? I mean, it's been hot, and like I see them out there every day, and like one day I probably looked like I was literally driving a white van that I'd rented, and I stopped and asked one of the workers if I could go bring them back cold sodas, and they were probably like, whatever, sketchy guy. But seriously, if there's something we can do, please let us know.
That I know they would really appreciate that. So if there's anybody who's interested in like saying like this is a stop in my area that someone can come by and pick up a bottle of water throughout the day or something like that, I would love to pass that information on to them. Thank you so much for thinking with them.
Yeah, it's hot out there, guys. Just take them a bottle of water. Be kind. Take care of our people that are taking care of us. Next up on community reports and announcements, it was kind of alluded to earlier, but we do have a new business in the neighborhood, Bottoms Up Bagel on Greenmount, just across from where Whitridge intersects with Greenmount. They're great. We're excited to have them. They've got a lot of foot traffic coming through, which I think is great for our neighborhood. The next announcement is a reminder that there is no meeting in August. Pretty straightforward there. Next up, Miller has worked tirelessly to get our dumpster days scheduled. Miller, thank you so much for that. The 4 dates that we have going forward are Monday, July 13th. That'll be at Boone and 27th. Saturday, August 25th and 26th, the dumpster will be at 27th and Barclay. And then we have additional cleanups Saturday, September 12th and November 21st. That's a Saturday as well. The location to be determined.
Yeah, I think the locations go back. It goes back to Boone and 27th, and then back to Barclay again. I think.
Yeah, just flip flopping back and forth.
Yeah, I think it's already done. And I had to do Monday because, as you know, they were on hiatus. And when I called in to get them, I just wanted something that wasn't too far off. So we'll figure out how to manage that. I think we'll still be able to fill it as we always do. So.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate you kind of bird dogging that. I know it took a lot of emails as well. So thanks for your work on that, Miller. And that is all the announcements, and that brings us to the open floor portion of our meeting. Does anybody have anything that they would like to share?
If anyone needs a tree cut down, you can call Keith. Thank you, Keith, for saving one of our elderly neighbors. I was sitting in my backyard and literally a huge branch fell on her deck and took out her clothesline. And I emailed Keith to say, hey, can you help me in the morning? And in true Keith style, he went over all by himself and did it and took care of it. And she is forever grateful. She just saw me again today and she's like, thank Keith you for tearing it down. So we have to get the rest of the tree taken.
The coolest thing about that was I was over there. It was a pretty big branch that fell down and I was struggling quite a bit. And Ken from 28th Street heard me kind of huffing and puffing and grunting and came in and gave me a hand as well. So I like it when community comes together and takes care of problems. So anybody else have anything that they would like to announce? We've run over a little.
Just the Safety Advisory Council meeting, 12 noon on Wednesday. If you don't have a link to get in, please contact me.
Is that something that we can blast out on the Facebook page for the Harwood Community Association?
I think so.
Okay. Wonderful. I'll get that posted. Anybody else have anything they'd like to add before we adjourn? Greatly appreciate everybody joining us, and we'll go ahead and adjourn this meeting. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Stay safe, everyone.
Stay safe, yeah.
Thank you, Harwood.
Right, bye-bye.
Thanks for your time, guys.
Yep. Thanks, Mike. Appreciate you coming on.
Hey, Tony, you still there?
Looks like he's gone. Sorry.
Hey,
Okay.
camera.
Well, hey, Keith, thanks for having me.
Absolutely.
Let me talk to you guys.
I'm excited. I might be signing up. I help out a lot in the neighborhood, so it seems like it would be right up my alley, honestly.
Yeah, sounds like it. Well, I hope you do sign up, and we've got our meet and greet this Thursday at 8 p.m. if you have time and want to see other members of the Time Bank.
Sounds good. I appreciate it. Thanks so much for joining.
All right.
Y'all take care.
Have a good night.